You've replayed it 100 times, the exact moment someone screwed you over, and the 100 ways you'd make them pay for it. That fantasy is the entire reason revenge manhwa exists. 10 complete arcs ranked by how brutal and satisfying the payback actually gets. No filler, no fake cliffhangers. Let's get into it. Number 10 on our list is Bowblade Spirit. Forget swords. This one's about a bow, and not the kind you're picturing. This is a weapon that hits targets your eyes physically can't track, guided by a form of Ki so advanced it makes sword and blade users look outdated. Our hero survives a training regime run by a genuinely terrifying grandfather before setting off on a road trip through Zhongyuan that turns into the origin story of a Murim-shaking legend. At first, I thought this was just another cultivator gets strong story. What surprised me was how much personality the training arc has. It's brutal, but it's funny too. The archery combat scenes are genuinely unique for the genre, since most Murim manhwa lean on swords. Currently sitting at chapter 147 with 9.2 expert points, because it reinvents key combat in a genre that desperately needed something new. Number 9 on our list is Rooftop Swordmaster. Sejong wakes up from a coma to find his entire world gone. His parents burned themselves alive just to make people notice how badly he was bullied. And the 8 kids responsible walked away untouched, protected by rich, powerful families. Grief-stricken, Sejong locks himself in his parents' rooftop apartment, and that's when he finds a giant burning sword and a voice in his head that wants blood. I'll admit the first few chapters are heavy. This isn't a light read emotionally, but what really surprised me was how the power system ties directly into his trauma instead of just being a random power-up. Every fight feels personal because it is personal. It's currently at chapter 125 with 9.3 expert points, earned for making its revenge feel earned instead of convenient. Number 8 on our list is Weak Hero. Bullies run the school, and everyone's learned to just survive it. Then Gray shows up, small, quiet, easy to underestimate, until he starts taking down kids twice his size using pure calculated brutality instead of raw strength. The school's toughest bullies suddenly have a problem they can't solve with numbers. At first glance, this looks like a typical school fight manhwa, and honestly, that's what pulled a lot of people in. What surprised me is how tactical every single fight is. Gray thinks 3 moves ahead like a chess player, not a brawler. The realism in the fight choreography is the real selling point here. It wrapped up at 267 chapters and with 9.5 expert points for turning school violence into some of the smartest fight writing in the genre. Number 7 on our list is Kill the Hero. Woojin gets murdered by the so-called righteous leader of his own guild. Then he wakes up back at the beginning, except this time, saving the world isn't the goal. Revenge is. He starts racking up high-level kills that make him infamous, boosting his stats while quietly setting up the hero who betrayed him for a fall nobody sees coming. What I love about this one is the ambiguity. You genuinely can't tell whose side Woojin's playing until the story wants you to know. Early art can feel a little rough, I won't lie, but it improves fast and the pacing never lets up. It's currently 153 chapters deep with 9.1 expert points, because the mystery of his loyalty keeps every chapter unpredictable. Number 6 on our list is Devil Returns to School Days. Kim Hyun-sung had it all. Top grades, good looks, real fighting skill, and an actual moral compass. Then he got shoved off a rooftop right before graduation. For 10 straight years, he lay in a vegetative state, fully conscious, unable to move or speak or die. Then he wakes up back on the exact day the bullying started. This premise alone had me hooked immediately. 10 years of helpless awareness is genuinely one of the darkest setups I've read for a revenge story. What surprised me is how controlled Hyun-sung is when he gets his second chance. This isn't mindless smashing, it's calculated dismantling, sitting at 83 chapters with 9.0 expert points for one of the most chilling revenge motivations in the genre. Number 5 on our list is Viral Hit. Hoban Yu is scrawny, awkward, and the absolute last person you'd bet on in a fight. Then a mysterious YouTube channel starts coaching him, and suddenly he's knocking out guys who outweigh him by 50 pounds, and getting paid serious money doing it. The question isn't whether Hoban can win, it's whether the fame changes who he is. At first I thought this was just an underdog sports-style story, but what really surprised me was how it uses the going viral angle to explore ego and identity, not just fight scenes. The art style takes a chapter or two to click, but once it does, the choreography is some of the cleanest in the genre. It closed out at 222 chapters as a complete, satisfying read with 9.4 expert points for blending internet fame commentary with genuinely brutal fight writing. Number 4 on our list is Tomb Raider King. Mysterious tombs start appearing worldwide overnight, each one hiding a relic that grants supernatural power. Joo-hyun Soo built his life around raiding these tombs until his own employer betrays him and leaves him to die at the hands of a relic more powerful than anything he'd ever seen. Then he wakes up 15 years in the past before tombs even existed. What surprised me here is the sheer scale. Joo-hyun isn't just getting revenge on one guy. He's rebuilding an entire timeline around the knowledge he shouldn't have. I'll admit the early chapters take a minute to set up the rules of this world, but once the payoff starts, it doesn't stop. It ran a massive 411 chapters with 9.6 expert points for the sheer ambition of turning personal revenge into a world-altering plan. Number 3 on our list is The Boxer. Legendary Coach K is searching for one final prodigy when he stumbles onto something strange. A teenager standing completely still while bullies beat on him, showing zero fear and zero reaction. But Coach K sees what nobody else does. Perfect precision hidden inside that stillness. When he tries to recruit the boy, all he gets back is one haunting question. Is it fun hitting people? At first, I thought this kid was just another quiet protagonist trope. What really surprised me was how psychologically dark this gets. This isn't really about winning matches, it's about a boy processing trauma through violence, and it's uncomfortable in the best way. The art is stunning, and the emotional weight never lets up across all 123 chapters with 9.7 expert points for being less a sports manhwa and more a psychological character study wearing boxing gloves. Number 2 on our list is Reverse Villain. Young-woo is trapped in a brutal cycle, reincarnated again and again, always chasing the same dream of conquering Murim, always defeated by the same rival, Shin Ryong. 5 lifetimes, 5 losses. When he reincarnates a 6th time, he lands somewhere Murim doesn't even exist, the modern world. Suddenly his entire goal has to change. What really surprised me is how this flips the typical reincarnation revenge formula on its head. Instead of getting stronger to beat the same enemy the same way, Young-woo has to completely rethink what winning even means. The tone shift from ancient Murim to modern-day setting keeps every arc feeling fresh. It's at 110 chapters with 9.5 expert points for taking a tired reincarnation trope and making it feel brand new. Number 1 on our list is The Legend of the Northern Blade. For generations, the Northern Heavenly Sect stood as the wall between the world and the evil Silent Knight. Then their leader gets falsely accused of betrayal, forced to disband his own sect and take his own life just to protect his son, Muon. Alone, hunted, and watched constantly, Muon barely survives until a surprise attack gives him the one chance he needs to vanish into the mountains and train. At first, I expected a standard training arc into vengeance story, but what actually surprised me is how emotionally devastating the setup is before the training even starts. You feel every bit of what Muon lost. The pacing, the art, the fight choreography, it's all firing on every cylinder. Currently at 202 chapters, and it's genuinely one of the best executed revenge stories in the entire medium, with 9.8 expert points for delivering the single most complete, emotionally devastating revenge journey on this entire list. That's the full list. If you've read any of these, you already know why they hit so hard. And if you haven't, you've got some serious reading ahead of you. Drop your own pick for Best Revenge Manhwa in the comments, because I guarantee I missed someone's favorite. See you in the next one.